Okay, so now that we've talked about patrol cooking, now we got to talk about our personal stuff. So everybody who goes hiking at some point is going to need their own personal gear. The reason they're going to need their own personal gear is you don't want to share that with someone else. Okay, it's like showing up for the pool, forgetting your swimsuit, and saying, "Hey," to your buddy, "Hey, can we both wear the same swimsuit at the same time?" It doesn't really work that well. So there's a lot of options that you can go with. So a lot of times you'll see something like this, and I got two different versions. This is what's going to be called a mess kit. So it can be used to eat out of, and it also can be used to cook with. This one is stainless steel. It's a little bit higher grade. It weighs a lot more. This one's aluminum, and if you look at it, it's kind of dented and beat up and everything like that. It's really lightweight, but the kind they make today don't last very long. So let's take a look at what's inside this one. Now this one here, it's got two things. For one thing, it's got this nice pan, okay, and it's got this plate, and they go together like this. And I know it's a pan because this is the handle for it. So if I want to go cooking, I can just put this over my fire, okay? The other things I have in here is I have that cup that I showed you earlier, the measuring cup. And then finally, I have my knife, fork, and spoon. Now this is pretty fancy schmancy, this knife, fork, and spoon that I have here. It doesn't have to be that fancy. You can just grab a fork or a knife from home, and those work just as well, okay? I just happen to have these because they fold up and they fit inside, okay? Now this other one that we had here, this was the one that wasn't, the aluminum one that was a little beat up. I don't even know what's in here. Oh, okay, here's what's in here. Again, you got your pan, right? Got your plate, okay? And this has a little aluminum bowl in here with a lid, aluminum thing in here with a cup. So it's got everything that you need, and again, this all fits together, and it goes in your backpack. When you're backpacking, one of the things that you want to know is you don't want to keep looking in your backpack for something. So I like to keep everything together. So if I have all of my cooking gear, I'm going to try to, if I can, keep it in one pocket or maybe two pockets depending on its size of my backpack. Other things that you might use, you might see scouts using, would be something like this, okay? So this is pretty simple. It's just a bowl, right? Okay, but this is great because you can use this, you can drink out of this if you want to. You can put hot liquids in here. You got a handle so your hands don't get so hot. You can actually use this to cook as well, and it's pretty deep. Before you go out in the field, what you want to do is, you remember those measuring marks that were on this cup? What you do is you take something like that and you figure out, okay, how much is a half full here? Is that a cup? Is that 2 cups? What is that? So that when you get out in the field and you go and start making your lunch or your dinner, you can do that, okay? Some other things that you might have when you're out there is this. It looks like a lemon, but it's actually a cutting board, okay? So if you're going to be cutting something open, you want a clean area to work on, you'll need something like that. You're probably also going to want to have some sort of a knife, so if you have your tote and chip, that's something to have. I always have a mug like this. Those little ones are fine, but you can't drink a hot cup of coffee in it, and I'm kind of addicted. This is some of them. Sometimes when I go out, instead of taking the metal kit, I'll just take a plastic bowl and a plastic plate, okay? And sometimes I'll just take the bowl. So when I went to Philmont last year, I just had the bowl. I didn't even bother with the plate. I had the bowl, and I had my spoon, my knife, fork, and spoon. And then, if you'll notice, I have my name written on there. Because guess what? Everyone has the same one, and they all look the same when they're being washed. So you want to know which one is yours so that you clean it right, and then, you know, it's done. Okay, so that's your basic personal gear that you need. You might have something else that you say, I can't live without, but that's basically the stuff that you need when you're going out and cooking and eating out on the trail.